All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're taking a look at the Alesis Nitro Max. Now, this is a fantastic little entry-level beginner's electric drum kit. And I say entry-level beginners, except I'm not an entry-level beginner. I've been playing drums for quite a while, and I normally play on normal, real-life kits, acoustic kits. This is my first ever electric drum kit, and I'm very, very excited. And I've been playing it for a while, and I'm massively impressed. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at this drum kit. I'm going to go through what the setup was like, how it feels to play. We're going to go through the modules, some of the sounds, and we're going to look at some of the limitations. Basically, the things that you need to be aware of if you're going for this kit, what the limits are, what it does really well, what it does quite poorly. First of all, this is a mesh head kit. We have 2 cymbals and a hi-hat. One of the cymbals has a choke on it, so you can, but that is only just on one of the cymbals. Doesn't work on the other ones. The hi-hat is separate to the pedal, so the pedal works like so. You have 3 zones on that one, so closed, semi-open, and fully open. You then have 3 mesh toms. They're all sort of pressure sensitive, so but they are also all single zone toms. And then you have a dual zone snare. You have obviously your kick with the rubber pad. So you have sort of all of the essentials you need to get started on the drums. I mean, personally, I would quite like to have a second crash cymbal at least, you can get that as part of an expansion kit, which I do not have. Things that are nice that it does include a kick pedal for the kick drum, and obviously the hi-hat pedal comes with it as part of the set as well. Do bear in mind that if you just get the kit without any sort of bundle or anything like that, you're not going to get the drum stool, so you're going to need to make sure you do that yourself. You do get a set of drumsticks in the box as well, which is really handy. Honestly, I've been playing this for a little while. I'm massively impressed with it. One of the reasons I wanted to get it is because I wanted to teach my kids to play drums, and they've been having an absolute whale of a time on this thing as well. You can tell by the marks on the rims of the toms that it's been used, and it's been used well. There's 32 different drum kits on here, and there's a whole array of different sounds as well that aren't used in all those drum kits, and you can make up your own sounds too. Let's have a look at some of the sounds. you've got some user set kits. So for example, what you can do is you can go onto the module here, you can pick certain sounds and go through, and you can grab a drum and you can say, okay, that's the voice, but I can change the voice of this particular drum to... Maybe I really like that one, and then you can save it. So I've set up a couple of little drum kits here that I really like. And you can change also things like the reverb on particular drums. So you can have it a bit sort of washier, or you can have it much crisper and cleaner. And you can also do a lot of things like, for example, you can change the volume or the sensitivity and the threshold. So you can have it so that it picks up less of like a quiet hit on my kick drum, but then as you get a bit, it picks up a bit more. And you've got some weird sounds on there too. And this one I've actually managed to set up the fact that now I have a double kick, using both of the pedals as individual kick drums. Maybe you want a bit of a Christmas vibe. I know it's lovely when we play right together with you. Yeah, a bunch of other features that you have, which I think are really, really cool. So for example, you've got a metronome, so you can practice how you're playing, and actually it will give you a little score based on how well you're in time, whether you're staying in time or you're not. And you have also some practice tracks on here, so let's have a look at some of the practice tracks. Have a little listen. Mute the drums. It's very, very, very cool. It's not all perfect. Now, there are a few things that you need to be aware of before you buy a drum kit like this. Just things that you need to make sure you have. Obviously, I mentioned the drum stool. You also need to have some way of hearing. So either a pair of headphones, you have a headphone jack on the side. You also have the ability to plug in some stereo audio out, which is currently how I'm recording this. But in order to sort of get yourself started, you do need some way of hearing yourself, whether it is a speaker, an amp, or headphones. I'd recommend some good quality headphones. That's going to give you the best experience. But if you want other people in the room to hear you too, I think, yeah, go for it. Now, I love the adjustable mesh heads. You see that you've got little dials on here, which you can turn with the drum key, and you can tighten and loosen the mesh heads in order to sort of change the feel. For example, the snare, you might want a bit more taut, and then you might want to be able to sort of loosen some of the toms, and then like a floor tom, have it a lot looser. You notice like I've got quite a taut snare, but then my floor tom, I've made sure it's a little bit looser just to give that sort of like familiar texture to a normal acoustic kit. Now, in terms of the setup, it was a little bit faffy getting it all up and running, but it got done, and it wasn't too difficult. I think you have to make sure that sort of you're getting the positioning right, and if you're new to setting up drums, give yourself a little bit of a chance to sort of set it up, have a play, see if things feel like they're in the right place, and if they feel like they're not, then make some adjustments. I would say that my biggest gripe with this entire drum kit, I'm fine with some of the limitations in terms of like the zones only being single zone cymbals, or the fact that the toms don't have 2 zones. Like, I can get around that. The thing that sort of is more of a sort of like an actual quality issue, I think, is the stand. Now, you have metal poles, but then all of the joints are made of plastic. And I find that they're quite difficult to sort of secure well. It's the type of thing where if you were to set this up and it stays there, it seems fine. If you then pick it up and move it, you're likely to cause things to come loose. So for example, I've moved it a few times and I found that the hinges and the joints tend to sometimes pop out, and then I'm having to try and scramble to try and get them back in, which is a bit of a faff, and I think that's one of my biggest issues with it. I like the fact that we got ties to tie all the cables up. That's really nice, and it honestly, I'm massively impressed. My first electronic drum kit, I thought I was going to be sort of a bit concerned by it, but actually I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm massively impressed. For people who just want something to practice on, people who don't want to make a lot of noise, this is actually a really, really good option for you. It feels in a lot of ways like a real drum kit. Maybe if some of the drums are a bit bigger, but it's nice and compact. It packs away, it folds down relatively easily and nicely. It doesn't take up a whole lot of the room and allows you to practice at home. Would I use a drum kit like this for live performance? No. And the reasons are as follows. I think the sounds are fine. You do get a bit of machine gunning in some areas. The cymbals for me, that's the sort of the weakness if you're using this in a live setting, because they're just very samey. Like every time you hit a cymbal, it's just very much a quieter version or a louder version of the same sound, and you can't get sort of like a nice roll on your cymbals. So that's pretty much the only reason why I wouldn't use this in a live setting. Obviously, I'd much rather use an acoustic kit in a live setting or something a bit more impressive than this, a bit more expensive than this. But for the price tag, if the cymbals are a bit better, I think you could get away with using this live in a lot of circumstances. All in all, I'm massively impressed with this. If this is your first drum kit, or if maybe you've got a really cheap drum kit, or you're moving from to something quieter for practice, you'll be massively impressed with this. I'd also recommend going for the expansion pack and getting the extra tom and the extra cymbal if you want to have a little bit more sort of freedom, a little bit more sort of creativity on the kit. But you actually get all the essentials with the Nitro Max. So I'm just massively impressed. Guys, if you want to grab yourself one of these, I'll put links down in the description below. The other thing is that this is also MIDI capable, so you can connect this to a DAW and have the ability to control drums from something like this, which I think is an absolutely brilliant feature. And the fact that they're all sort of pressure sensitive makes a massive difference. You also get access with this drum kit to things like BFD, so you can have an entirely new set of drum sounds directly through a bit of software using the MIDI capabilities of this. I've not showed you that here today because it's a bit of a faff to set up, and personally I think if you're going to be buying this, you might not want to go straight into that. If you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments and I'll do that in another video. But guys, that is all from me today. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.